Hello everyone. Let's begin with the fifth chapter named the state government. As we all know, in our country we have two forms of government, central government and state government. The responsibility of the central government is to manage the whole country. When we talk about the responsibility of state government, the state government manages the respective state. So in this chapter we will discuss about the state government of our own state, Maharashtra. So on what basis, how it functions, what are the important role of the speaker, chief ministers and the council of ministers. So in this way we will discuss, and you will find the correlation between the state and central government. Like in central government, we have two different houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In the same way, in state you will find we have Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Elections procedure is also like the same. In Lok Sabha we have a direct representation. Same in Vidhan Sabha also we have a direct representation. But in Rajya Sabha we have indirect representation. Here in Vidhan Parishad also we have indirect representation. Like for example, we had seen the speaker manages the Lok Sabha. In the same way, speaker manages the Vidhan Sabha. Like we had seen, the chairman manages the Rajya Sabha. In the same way, chairman manages the Vidhan Parishad. So don't get confused, but you will find a relation between it. Like how we had seen the state government, the central government is controlled by Prime Minister, right? And the head of the central government is President. In the same way, the state government was run by Chief Minister and the head of the state government is Governor. So here we have President and here we have Governor. Here we have Prime Minister and here we have Chief Minister. Okay, so don't get much confused. We have already discussed about the central government, so you will find it easy to understand this topic. Okay, let's begin with, as we all know, there are 28 states in our country. So it's not possible to discuss the functions or the houses of all the 28 states. So we will discuss about the Maharashtra state. If you remember, in the last chapters, we understood the nature of union parliament, union executive. We also introduced to the integrated judicial system in India. In this chapter, we will study the government of constituent state or state government. In the federal system, in the democratic system which we follow, the state, the government exists at two levels. Federal, that is the central government, works at the national level, and the state government works at the region or the state level. So background, how this happened. As we all know, India is a vast nation. It was divided into different territories. So the powers are divided accordingly so that the development and functional processes can be carried out. India is a large geographic expanse with a multicultural population. There is a diversity in language, religion, ways of life and regional characteristics. It would have been possible to govern from a centralized place. So it is not possible to govern at a centralized place. What is centralized? Central means a single power. So that's why the power are decentralized. What are decentralized? The powers are divided. And in the same way, responsibility are also divided. Therefore, the constitution has adopted a federal setup for India. It was decided to form the states on the basis of language, as we had seen we have also learnt in history that after the independence, state reconstruction committee has been formed, and basis on the suggestion on the lingual basis the states has been formed. It was decided to form the state on the basis of language. Accordingly, linguistic reorganization of states took place. Linguistic means the basis of language. The nature of government machinery in all states of India is same. However, Jammu and Kashmir is an exception. So as we all know, this book, the syllabus printed long back, but now the situation of Jammu and Kashmir also changed. if you know, there has been different articles reconstructed or amendment done. So on the basis of that, now Jammu and Kashmir also had the same status. You may have heard this many times in the news. So now even Jammu and Kashmir now it doesn't is a state. They had now the status of the union territory. Remember, there we have two different territory, Union Territory, Kashmir and Ladakh. Let us now study the governments in state with reference to Maharashtra. Okay, so in this way we will discuss about the state of Maharashtra. So don't bother about that exception of Jammu and Kashmir. Now Jammu and Kashmir also included in the same way like the other state or the union territory. Now comes to the state legislature. Like the parliament at the central level, like we have the parliament, Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. In state level we have Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Also there is a twist in that not every state has the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Every state has Vidhan Sabha, but not all state has the Vidhan Parishad. Those state that have the both two, Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad, they called the bicameral legislature. What does this mean, bicameral? Bicameral means the two houses of parliament. Okay, when we say bicameral, it means two houses of parliament. They are the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Okay, every state has Vidhan Sabha, but not all the states of India has the Vidhan Parishad. Okay, good. Like the parliament at the central level, every state has its own legislature, but only 7 states in India. Okay, out of 28, only 7 states in India have two houses. That is the bicameral legislature. Maharashtra has a bicameral legislature. Out of the 7, our Maharashtra is a bicameral legislature. The members of state legislatures are known as MLA for Legislative Assembly or MLC for Legislative Council. So Vidhan Sabha is called as Legislative Assembly. Okay, in English, Vidhan Sabha is called as Legislative Assembly. That's why the member of Vidhan Sabha is called as member of Legislative Assembly. In short, MLA. Okay, when we say Vidhan Parishad, in English it is called as Legislative Council. So member of Vidhan Parishad is called as member of Legislative Council. In short, it is called as MLC. Hope it's clear to you. Don't get confused. It's very much clear. Now let's take a look of the legislature of Maharashtra. Maharashtra has a bicameral. Okay. Legislature of Maharashtra has two houses, namely Vidhan Sabha. It is also called as Legislative Assembly, and Vidhan Parishad, Legislative Council. Now let's take a look of Vidhan Sabha, in what you also call as Legislative Assembly. This is the first house of the Maharashtra legislature and comprises of 288 members. Okay, just underline it and remember the seats of Vidhan Sabha in Maharashtra, 288 members. In case there is inadequate representation of Anglo-Indian community. You have also heard this name Anglo-Indian. What is Anglo-Indian? Anglo-Indian means from the British origin. As we all know, after the independence, many Britishers stayed in India and they had got certain kinds of right. In case there is an inadequate means insufficient. If there is no any representation from the Anglo-Indian, that seats also given to the Legislative Assembly. In case there is an inadequate representation of the Anglo-Indian community, the governor nominates one member from this community in the Vidhan Sabha. Some seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, as we are already seen in Lok Sabha also. So here in Vidhan Sabha also, there are few seats that are reserved for the women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. Maharashtra is divided into territorial constituencies for the purpose of election. Like our nation, our state is also divided into territorial constituencies. One member is elected from each of the constituencies. So in this way, from the 288 constituencies, the 288 members get elected. Tenure of Vidhan Sabha is like the tenure of Lok Sabha. It's of 5 years. However, in exceptional circumstances, election can be held before the completion of 5 years. We had seen that Lok Sabha is not a permanent house. In the same way, Vidhan Sabha is also not also a permanent house. It can also take election within 5 years or before the completion of the existing government in circumstances. Any citizen residing in Maharashtra and who has completed 25 years of age can contest the election of Vidhan Sabha. So it's a state level election. So any person who is the citizen of the state of the Maharashtra state and also completed the age of 25 years, then he or she can contest for the election. Now we had seen the role of speaker. So here also the Vidhan Sabha speaker controls the house. Speaker of Vidhan Sabha, the proceedings, the workings or the functions of the Vidhan Sabha are carried out under the supervision and guidance of the speaker. The elected members of the newly constituted Vidhan Sabha elect the speaker and deputy speaker of the Vidhan Sabha from amongst themselves. So we in this way the appointment of speaker and deputy speaker done. The speaker has many responsibilities which range from the power to prepare the order of the business, to carry out the proceedings of the house in a disciplined manner, or to suspend members for misbehavior or misconduct. So in this way we had seen the speakers have so many responsibilities. They need to maintain the decorum of the house, they maintain to discipline, and at the same time to suspend the members who doesn't follow the proceedings or the rules of the houses. Maharashtra, in absence of the speaker, as we all know, the responsibility is taken over by the deputy speaker. Maharashtra's legislature conducts minimum 3 sessions in a year. So basis of the condition and the situation, at least 3 sessions are carried out at the legislature level. The budget session and monsoon session is conducted in Mumbai, while the winter session is conducted in Nagpur. So as we have seen, at least 3 sessions happen. So 2 sessions, monsoon and budget, it happens at Mumbai, and winter session it conducts at Nagpur. Okay, so this is the information about the Vidhan Sabha. Now take a look of Vidhan Parishad. So when we read about the Vidhan Parishad, you will correlate with the Rajya Sabha, right? Vidhan Parishad is the second house of the Maharashtra legislature, and members are indirectly elected from various sections of society, and you can't call it as a permanent house. There are 78 members. Underline it. There are 78 members in the Vidhan Parishad of Maharashtra. Of these, some members who are belongs to distinguished personalities from the field of literature, science and social service are nominated by the government. If you remember, same procedure happens in Rajya Sabha by the president. In the same way, in Vidhan Parishad also, governors nominates the people from the different field, those who had done good achievements or they are the ideal for the society. Remaining representatives are elected by the members of Vidhan Sabha, local government institutions, teachers constituencies and graduate constituencies. The Vidhan Parishad is never fully dissolved. That's why it is called as permanent house. A specific number of members get retire every 2 years. We had seen it is a kind of replacement, and these vacant seats are filled again by conducting fresh elections for those seats. The proceedings of the Vidhan Parishad are conducted under the control and guidance of the chairman, and in the absence of the chairman, the deputy chairman takes the responsibility. So in the absence of chairman, deputy chairman took over the responsibility of Vidhan Parishad. Now when we talk about the executive, if you remember the executive of our central government, we have president, we have prime minister, and we have council of minister. When we talk about the executive of Maharashtra legislature, then we have governor, we have chief minister, and we have council of minister. So the hierarchy goes in the same way. So who are in the executive of Maharashtra? just underline the statement. The governor, chief minister, and the council of minister together form the executive of Maharashtra. So let's take the information about the role and responsibility of chairman, right? Sorry, the governor. Okay, so let's begin with the responsibility of governor. The president is the nominal head at the center. Yes, in the same way, governor is the nominal head of the state, while the governor is the titular. Title means for the title or nominal head at the state level. Governor is appointed by the president and holds the office during the pleasure of the president. So, governor is appointed by the president and holds the office during the pleasure of the president under the rule of president, or you can say control. The governor also enjoys certain legislative power. Being the head of the state, they have a certain legislative powers. For example, the bills passed by the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad are converted into law only after receiving the assent of the governor. Assent means approval. Like we had seen in the proceedings of Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, how the bills got passed only by the president. So in the same way here, governor functions the same role. The governor has the right to summon the session, to cancel the session, to call the sessions of the state legislature. When the legislature is not in session, but the need arises to make the law, then the governor can issue an ordinance for the same. Ordinance is a kind of official order. So these are the functions and power of governor. Let's take a look of the chief minister and council of minister. As we all know, the party which gains majority, they form their government and their head considered as the chief minister, and the chief minister appoints the council of ministers to those, and the responsibility given to those people who are well experienced or they are the trustworthy. The leader of the majority party in legislative assembly becomes the chief minister. We know this function. The chief minister includes his or her trustworthy colleagues in the council of ministers, like the prime minister, who is the executive head of the union. The chief minister is the head of the state. The role are in the same way. The government of the state is run in the name of governor. Like we had seen the state central government run on the name of president, but actually who runs it? Prime minister. In the same way, the state runs on the name of governor, but who actually does the function? Chief minister. But in reality, the administration is carried out by the chief minister. So the responsibility of the administration are in the hands of chief minister. Now let's take a look of the functions of the chief minister. What are the important role that needs to be played by the chief minister? So first, the creation of the state executive. The complete administration of state is the responsibility of chief minister. After proving the majority, the chief minister forms his or her council of ministers. This is a challenging task because in order to make the council more representative, various regions and social groups, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward class, women and minorities needs to be accommodated, because they can't do any partiality. Every group, every member from the society should be included in the system, in the government. If no parties secure a clear majority, if any party doesn't get any clear majority, then they do the collaborations. If no party secures a clear majority, different parties can come together to form the government. Like we see the current situation of our Maharashtra. Currently in Maharashtra, we have the government of 3 different parties, because none of the single party had the majority. So 3 different parties came together and formed the government. So you all may know that. In such case, the chief minister has to perform the difficult task of giving a place to all the constituent party in the alliance. What do an alliance? Alliance is a kind of collaboration, coming together to form a government. So it is a responsibility of chief minister. They need to divide the power, because when three different political parties came together, they have a different leaders, right? They have a different members, different demands. So in this way, it's the responsibility of the chief minister to fulfill the demands and the needs, and so that it functions properly. Now, distribution of portfolios. What are portfolios? Portfolios, you can say a department, or you can say the responsibilities. After the formation of Council of Ministers, the Chief Minister has to distribute portfolios to give the responsibility to the respective member or to the respective leader among the ministers. While distributing portfolio, he or she has to consider the political experience, administrative skills, awareness of public opinion, leadership qualities, etc. These are the things that needs to be taken care, because the responsibility should be given in such a manner that person should fulfill that responsibility. Coordination between ministries and departments. So it is a important responsibility of the chief minister to maintain a coordination between the department and minister, because if any wrong decision taken by any department or any ministry, so it will come under the name of the chief minister. That's why chief minister should be in a contact with the different ministers at a basic level, or at the different meetings or session needs to be carried out to discuss the issues or the problems. The chief minister along with his council of ministers are collectively responsible to the legislative assembly. What is collectively? When we say in a group, the opposite of collective is individual. The chief minister bears the ultimate responsibility. So complete responsibility are on the hands of chief minister. Responsible for efficient administration. What are efficient, effective, proper? Absence of cooperation and coordination between departments can affect the working of the government. Therefore, the chief minister has to resolve conflict between departments and ensure that they work towards the same goal and same direction. So in this way, it should be clear that they all should work together for same direction and for the same goal. Leader of the state. Just as the prime minister leads the country, the chief minister leads the state. Like how the prime minister bears the responsibility of whole nation, in the same way chief minister bears the responsibility of whole state. The chief minister has to make new policies by taking note of problems and concerns of people and work towards the welfare of the people of the state. The people look at the chief minister as a problem solver. Yes, because people had a faith on chief minister. The chief minister intervenes in issues. What are interventions? It involves, it interacts, facing the state and comforts the people. So he tries his level best so that the people of the state should feel comfort, safe, and they get all the possible opportunity for their development and freedom. When we talk about the Maharashtra, Maharashtra is one of the progressive state in India. If you compare the different states, Maharashtra is one of the progressive, or you can say a developed state. The state leads in sectors. There are so many fields or sectors in which the state leads, like education, industry, service sector, health and social security. Even you can say the film industry, or you can say there are so many industries opportunity you will find in Maharashtra state. Terror attacks and Naxalite movement actives in certain regions are two major challenges facing the state of Maharashtra. Even at the same time, there are so many challenges that faced by the state government. Out of that, terrorism is also a big challenge, like we had seen the Taj attack done on 26/11. Even the Naxalism, we had some few territories in Maharashtra like Gadchiroli, Bandara, Chandranpur. So these are the few places where we have seen the Naxalite movements are at a very higher level. What a Naxalite movement? The difference between the terrorism and Naxalite movement is that terrorism, the terrorists come from the different territories and different countries, but the Naxalites are the local people who are not happy with the functions of government and they carry out the violent way. So in this way, it affects the function of the government. Okay, clear? It's a quite interesting because it's our own state and we are very much aware of our state, so we know it much better. So let's begin with the exercise. Remember, the winter session of Maharashtra legislature takes place at the budget and monsoon at Mumbai, the winter at Nagpur. Good. The dash appoints the governor. Who appoints the governor? President. President appoints the governor. Even president appoints the higher authorities, right? The right to summon the state legislature lies with the governor. Who has the power to summon the state legislature? Governor. Okay. So next we have the table that gives us the information about the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Okay. So let's take a compare it. First is tenure. When we talk about the tenure of Vidhan Sabha is 5 years. At the same time, Vidhan Parishad is 2 years. Number of members in Vidhan Sabha we have 288. In Vidhan Parishad we have 78. Type of election, in Vidhan Sabha we have direct representation. In Vidhan Parishad we have indirect representation. When we talk about the head, speaker is the head of Vidhan Sabha and the chairman is the head of Vidhan Parishad. Okay, clear? So next we have a write short notes on governor and function of chief minister. So we have a separate paragraph for that. We have to write the answers in point. Understood? Clear everyone? Got the point? Good. So next we have enumerate the functions of speaker of the Vidhan Sabha. What are the different functions of the speaker of Vidhan Sabha? We had seen there are so many responsibilities laid on the shoulder of the speaker. They need to carry out the administration work of the houses, to maintain the discipline, to suspend the members who had done any mischief, and to run the function smoothly. Why did the constitution adopt a federal system for India? Because as we all know, India is a vast nation with different cultures, society, language, the needs. So in this way, the functions adopted this system. What are the consideration of the chief minister while allocation of portfolios? Yeah, while allocating portfolio, chief minister needs to consider the experience, needs to consider the knowledge, or how well the minister will carry out or take the responsibility, and also moreover the trust that needs to be built between the chief minister and the council of minister. So in this way we had completed this chapter. Hope you enjoyed and understand the topic. Please go through the chapter, read it twice, understand it, and don't get confused upon the Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha, Raj Sabha, Vidhan Parishad, bicameral. These are the just important points, and just remember it. Just remember the members, remember the functions or the different hierarchy, like we have the governor, we have the chief minister and council of minister. So thank you everyone, thank you so much. I believe you all understood the topic, and please maintain it. Thank you so much.